Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching. Just kidding. Hey, you can almost see the dogs. I don't know where they're at. Maybe I'll go move the camera, see if I can get them. Anyways, there you go. There you go. You got Clancy and Benny. Let's see. What are they doing today? You never know what you might see with these guys. You never know. Right. That's why I was playing the rodeo clown music. For the rodeo clowns out there. This one right here. You know, for the Michelle After Darks of the world. Absolute lunatics. Yeah, so anyways, we got, I guess Frank Meister just said that, I guess, apparently Nick McLeland interviewed with the Carroll County Comet or something like that. So he's gonna send me an email. But hey, guys, we're at 0 on this show. You guys, you see, so every single night, even if it's not as cool and everything, I don't have. I've already used up all of my notifications for the day. So if you can help support the channel, even with a smaller crowd, that'd be awesome. We did just get Timothy Cecil, but currently we have 0 new channel members. 0 super chats, 0 coffees right out of the gate. All right. So anyways, looks like at least I got the dog camera working again. Yeah. So I heard about this. I don't know if it was just kind of showed up on a feed somewhere about this lady named Heather Williams. Hey, thanks CR for gifting one to Kimberly Barr. Heather Williams, she's some girl that has some sort of mental, I don't know, like issues or something. And she leaves her house, and they have her show her getting into a car, and then they find her dead. It's crazy. So I thought maybe we'll go back. In terms of, I think it's on the 11th. We have some of these articles. Then we'll move into the conversation later about what we were seeing. But we got to cover other cases too. Yeah. So this lady right here. It says this story was updated to add new information. A Fayetteville woman, North Carolina, reported missing and endangered last week, was found dead Friday off Murchison Road. So I guess we can go put that in there. I'm sure there isn't too many Murchison roads out there. So is it that one? No, it's this main one. And her death is being investigated as a homicide. The Fayetteville Police Department announced Saturday that Heather Williams, 25, was found dead in a wooded area near Newark and State Avenues. This will probably become clear. Jeez. Fayetteville. I don't even know if I'm in the right place. Okay. Way up. So maybe right there. Okay, there's Fayetteville. So they said near Newark and State Avenues. Okay. Let me just type one in. Newark Avenue, Fayetteville. Hey, thanks. Free Radical. Ray, you're a superstar. The freaks are incredible. And thank you for keeping us sane and focused regarding the guilt of poor Richard Allen. Yep. Poor Richard Allen. Oh, God, give me a break. Jesus. Guy kills 2 girls and you got a bunch of psychos crying. My God. Imagine if that was your kid and you had to deal with these people bawling over the arrest of the person who killed him and the conviction of him. Whew. Wow. Unreal. Unreal. Okay, so there. This is the road right here. Newark Avenue. So how does Newark Avenue, does it continue over here maybe? Okay, what was the other road? And it said, and State Avenue. I just saw that. Okay, so there was State right there, right? Or is that Slater? That's Slater. I thought I just saw State, though. Okay. I see. The State goes like this. And then the other one was Newark, they said. Yeah, that's right there. So how's it saying that? Let's see. The Fayetteville Police Department announced Saturday that Heather Williams, 25, was found dead in a wooded area near Newark and State Avenues. And it says off Murchison Road. So here's Murchison Road. Here's State Avenue. And then here is Newark Avenue. So maybe right in here. I guess we'll have to find that out. But she was found somewhere, like, let's just put a pin there. $53 months for Timothy Cecil. All right. So then Major Lee Hicks said Saturday that Williams' body was found by police officers during a follow-up to the missing persons investigation. Williams suffered from a cognitive impairment and had limited speech, police said earlier. Williams was reported missing January 4th and was last seen getting into a light-colored four-door sedan with a sunroof before her disappearance in the area of Berkshire Road. Berkshire Road. Let's see where that is. Okay, so somewhere like right over here. Except that's Berkshire Road, so... Well, I mean, it's not that long, really. It just goes from here to... Let's see, like right, I guess right there. So we can just put a pin here. Hope you guys will find this interesting. Something different for a second. Okay. Hey, thanks, Alley Cake. But you notice how when we start covering something else, it gets a lot slower in here for the support. You know, so it's kind of like, yeah, geez, do I dare talk about anything else? Thanks, Alley Cake and Richard Watts. Williams was reported missing January 4th and was last seen getting into a light-colored four-door sedan with a sunroof. Her disappearance in the area of Berkshire Road, a news release before her disappearance near Berkshire Road. Police announced Friday that the vehicle was located. Wow. So the vehicle was located, but it's not her vehicle? Hicks said that Williams' death is being investigated as a homicide. Anyone with information, call Detective E. Alfred Fay at 910-723-0327. Oh, it's coming up way over here. Weird. A Fayetteville woman was found dead on Saturday near a week later after she was reported missing. Fayetteville police said during a follow-up investigation of a missing and endangered person, detectives were led to a wooded area near Newark Avenue and State Avenue where detectives found a body. I mean, what led him there? Authorities said the body was identified as 25-year-old Heather Williams. Anyone with information regarding the investigation is asked to contact Detective E. Al-Rafay at 910-723-0327 or Crime Stoppers at 910-483-TIPS. These are from the 11th. These ones we're reading right now. Yeah, it keeps opening up way over here.
Missing Fayetteville woman has been found dead. Tonight, the investigation is still ongoing. This wooded area near Newark Avenue and State Avenue is where Fayetteville police confirm 25-year-old Heather Williams' body was discovered. Avenue and State Avenue is where Fayetteville police...
Okay, let's see if we can find this. change it to a different time of year. Yeah, like that's probably good. So that's State Avenue. And this is Newark Avenue. I don't really see just right off the bat a spot that looks like that. I don't think that would be it. But here's State Road. And here's... So State Road's right there. Wait. Yes, that's Slater Avenue, and then State Avenue is right there. And here's Newark. And so they're saying it's kind of like... Maybe right back in there.
Police confirm 25-year-old Heather Williams' body was discovered Friday. It's been found dead. This wooded area near Newark Avenue and State Avenue is where Fayetteville police confirm 25-year-old Heather Williams.
I mean, that junk, you could probably still see. I wonder if it's like right there. You know? Doesn't that look pretty good for that? And it's just, they don't show you this in the picture. See that? That's what it feels like. And it's right in the right spot. I mean, all these homes, that'd be difficult. Just feels like, I'm going to move that. Yeah, I know it said that. We already read it, Lynn. It said off of that road, but near State and Navark Avenue. I've already gone over it. You don't need to look it up on your own, Lynn. I've got it. I'm reading it. And, you know. So Murchison Avenue is over here. Here's State, and this is Newark Avenue right here. See, that means it's in this area, like right here, I would think. It just means off of, meaning, okay, that's the main road, everybody. Yeah. Then you go over here, here's State Road, and then here is Newark. So I think that it's very possible it's that spot. They're kind of just down here filming in that direction, in this shot right here. And you just can't see, they don't show the building there. Other than that, because it has to be in this area, and it's likely not on this side, obviously. I think that's got to be it. That's the only thing that makes sense.
And State Avenue is where Fayetteville police confirm 25-year-old Heather Williams' body was discovered Friday. They have since found the vehicle she was reportedly last seen getting into Saturday, January 4th.
Seeing her get into a car, we don't know who she got into a car with.
This week, her sister Mary told us they have a lot of unanswered questions in the case.
We don't know who the driver of that
will come forward of this case.
We don't know who.
Police solve this case.
So what's this shot? Oh, there's State Road. Okay. This might be good if we can find this. 700 State Road. Okay, let's do that. 700 State Road. Ah, Jesus. No, that's not right. It's 700 State Road. No, that's not right either. What happened to everything? Am I just like in a totally... Okay. Come on, you guys, if you could please help support the channel, that'd be great. I know it's not Delphi right at the moment, but, you know, we'll try to get back to it a little bit later. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's back there now that I look at it. It looks paved. We're looking for like a dirt road. Wait, is that the spot that's in there? I bet you that's it. That street right there, I think, is exactly where... Yeah, see the stop sign that you can see right there? And so that's the location, and then, you know, these homes look the same. They're just different time of year. Yep, there we go. So that means they're looking right there. So is that the wooded area? Just... Okay, there we go. That's... Now it really looks like that, see? Then it ends down there. That's the ending. So definitely they're filming that spot. But what does that mean? I mean, we know we're nowhere. We are in the correct area. Hey, thanks. M2 MS Too Lovely or Miss Too Lovely. Wait, is that it right there? Like in that? No. That's crazy, because the spot they're showing is this wide open... Oh, maybe back... Yeah. In there somewhere, but... It's wild. Yeah, definitely in the right spot there, though. Okay.
We don't know who the driver of that car was.
Yeah, they don't know who the car is, but they found it. Okay. So we see this right here. This is the spot. Look how wide open it is. That's exactly right. So, wow. I mean, how in the hell?
Investigators did confirm they have had some leads.
That's a huge, wide open space right there. So where is that? In this picture here. That's crazy. Usually it's a little easier than that. State road, and this road. And they were right there filming. And it's definitely not there. And so then you start getting outside of the realm where they would have called it state. And wow, because look at that spot right there. That's just this huge area of wide open spaces, and she was found inside of that. And that's definitely not here. And it looks sort of like an abandoned area that's just sort of dirt. Hey, we did get some coffees. Alley Cake, and it says someone. And then Lisa Valens Layla. Yeah, you guys, I don't know. I don't know where that... pretty weird, you know? What happens if we can keep going down this road? Maybe it's like right at the end there. Through that. That dead end. I bet you that's it. Come on, come on, come on. Yep. That looks like that's it. See a little fence on the right? Okay, there we go. Shit, we finally found it. So it's at the end of the street. You just didn't look good on the map. But that's it. Right here. So her body was found right in there somewhere. Weird, because those trees definitely... Let's go look at a different year. So this is probably... oh, there you go. If we'd switched it to a recent year, I didn't think of doing that. I kept it on the 3D version. That would have led right to it. We would have seen that 10 minutes ago. So anyways, it's inside of here where she was found. Right there.
In this case, but right now this grieving family is hoping someone comes forward with more information to get justice served for the person responsible for taking their belief.
And on God and his will.
And anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 910-483-TIPS.
Okay. So she was found the same day the mysterious car in which she vanished was discovered. So somebody found that vehicle and then they found her body. So who in the hell... I mean, this is so weird because the vehicle... Was it stolen? Because why in the hell would you drive your own vehicle and then leave it near a crime scene? This isn't her car. All right, so now there's actually surveillance footage here, okay? So check it out. Here we go. So it looks like she has like a special kind of shoe for her walking a little bit. I don't know if you can see it, but there's like a black shoe over here that kind of points in. And then she just walks outside. Can you see that car from... Yeah, so the vehicle must be... wow, that's weird. Is it right down the street from her house, or is it right off to the right? But there's no light on the street, so maybe it's right over here. You just can't see it. And then apparently she gets into this car and then is killed. How crazy.
So something is really wrong.
Williams, Heather's sister, says they worried about the 25-year-old because she was cognitively impaired after getting hit by a car a decade ago.
She's just so trusting and naive to what the dangers were out there.
Williams says her family worried when Heather would meet with people she connected with online. They say they believe that's what she was likely doing in this surveillance footage.
No, I haven't seen
When
the
she
videos
never
on
came
Facebook.
home, the family reported Heather
them.
missing. After's body in this wooded area near Newark and State Avenue on Friday.
She loved her siblings and she, was always laughing. She loved to sing worship music. She loved to go to church.
Fayetteville police have not announced a person of interest.
Let's see. I want to see if I can see that house, the brick house on her street. I think she lived with her parents. I guess they're all brick. Just every single one of them. Come on, you guys. That looks... I mean, they all look the same, but I mean, you got... Just looking at that picture there. I guess, man, they even have the shrubs. That's not it. I don't know. I wasn't able to find her, and then I didn't have time to go look up the daughter. So, I mean, the parents of him. Her. Hey, thanks, CR. Let's see. I don't know. I don't have the videos that Zozo's talking about on her Facebook page. Maybe they're ones that she put out there. I don't know, but I don't have them. So, not sure what I'm gonna be looking at right now. But I mean, this is what I've got. I got the video. You know, you see her getting out of the house. I found the sister's name. Don't know. You know, couldn't find her sister in Fayetteville. Maybe the sister doesn't live there. Her Heather wasn't listed in been verified at least, so don't know if that's her. I couldn't find her the correct age or anything like that. All right, let's see. Here's the Facebook page.
What?
What? Who's coming to get you?
Go on.
Who's coming to get you?
Go on. Stop. What?
What? Who's coming to get you?
Go on.
Who's coming to get you?
Sounds like they're playing. I can't tell what they're doing in there.
Don't worry about it. If you fall asleep, I'll show you.
What?
Make sure you stay awake.
Why?
You'll see.
Stop it. Stop it.
Don't come over here and sit beside me.
No. Stop it.
So is this guy like? I mean, is this a joke or is this like this guy's attacking?
Stop it.
Yeah, because he's doing something.
Stop it.
Wow. Jesus, that guy.
Don't worry about it. If you fall asleep, I'll show you.
This sounds like a pretty creepy situation going on. Why is he? She's filming it for a reason, or?
No. Stop it.
I'm gonna burn your fucking pocketbook. I'm gonna burn everything in it before they get here.
Why?
Cause you're a fucking crazy bitch.
That's her husband? That guy's like 100 years old.
No. Stop it. No.
Jesse's Girl. I know that song. Man, not really sure what to make of that. So this girl here is 25 and has a husband that's like 50-something years old. It's definitely not, it doesn't look like it was this guy. Yeah, I think it's a good song too. I used to sing it all the time. Yeah. But why would she have a boyfriend that's like 50-something years old? You know? And that was kind of creepy seeming. I don't know. It looked like he was trying to assault her or something like that. Do you happen to have? Did they have the address in those groups where the where her parents' house is, where she was living? Did he look like a sugar daddy, Mike, to you? Jesus. That's exactly, yeah, it seemed like that. But hey, guys, if you're out there, if you could please help support the channel tonight. We're struggling because we're not talking about one of the big cases right at this moment. So we'll get to some of that later in the evening. But during this time, it'd be great if we could have a similar type of night as we've been having, so we don't go backwards again. Yeah, that's what I said. You thought I was the mom? Well, this guy right here looks like the mom's husband, and he doesn't look anything like that guy, I don't think. I don't know. I couldn't find her on Ben Verified. I want to know where she lived, where this picture was taken. Who's that? That's the boyfriend? All right. Is that the boyfriend, Lynn? That one? Yeah, I hope we don't have one of those crappy nights again. Then it's just so discouraging not to, where you can't discuss anything else, or you just get crushed. God, maybe he stole a car. He's 68 years old. Guys, that's ridiculous. Is he missing right now, or what? Yeah, she's dead. We've gone over it. Well, he lived one time at this place. Sure. Right there. That's an address that he's had, this one. That could be where she was seen. And that seems to be his current address. I think this is the house. Let's take a look at that video again. Hold on. I don't know. God, that street, look at those huge cracks in the road there where she's getting into that car. I guess we don't know exactly where that is. It seemed like maybe it was just right down the street, but you can't really tell. What's on her Facebook page? Her address? Yeah, I don't think that's where she's getting out of. I think she's like at her parents' house or something. Yeah, I just said it's not the right spot. So that's him right there, right? But that looks like that's his mom and dad right there. Her mom and dad. So she posted these things about him. Thank God. Well, this guy's got to be involved then, you know. I mean, if this is stuff that she posted December, thank God, alive. Nice teamwork. Here, here, thank God. So, registered to be notified if offender custody status change. So that's her boyfriend. I mean, the guy that she's with, right? Well, that seems like, I mean, she posted that a week before she disappeared. Yeah, and see, he was doing these things, and she probably used this to show police. So obviously, he's connected to why she's missing, right? Is there any, I mean, that's just so obvious. Yeah, it's definitely the same guy in the video, 100%. And he's 68 years old and she's 25. Hey, look, it's Anthony Schatz. December 20th, thank God alive, nice teamwork. Here, 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 thank God. Hey Heather, I would delete the picture of your ID so your info doesn't get out there. Well, that's an interesting thing there. I would say it's probably connected to the guy, you know, in some way, that she disappeared and then was killed. Well, I guess that's it. That kind of just tells you the story. He's looks like they had him up on. Well, we have him over here. I have a whole bunch of court records. It doesn't say exactly what each one was, but yeah, it actually doesn't say what any of them are. So who knows? But apparently, if you scroll up here, you can see that he... I mean, let's click on that. Offender, custody status, name, Pennington David Lee. So did he get any... There's a bond there, so you'd have to have posted $3,000 to get out. So you could picture a scenario where he got out, stole a car, and somehow, I don't know, you know, convinced her or something and did something to her. And this is old, though. Look at the date on that. That's a year ago. So maybe she didn't know, and she just found out about it. Something like that. What do you guys think about that? Like, she didn't know that this guy was a sex offender, and then somebody showed it to her, and she was it freaked her out, and then she was leaving him, and then yeah, I don't know where that spot is. So I guess we'll have to do some more digging into that. But hey, guys, you know, as I've been telling you guys, on this channel, every single night, my channel relies on you guys, your generosity to help support the channel. And I'd like to be able to cover different cases. Okay, I'm trying hard to augment the income coming in by doing videos, etc., etc., etc. But even the second video that I put out was hardly getting any views at all. The first one did pretty good, but not great. It's still not anywhere near what you know, goals are in the chat. So if you're out there and you have the ability to help support the channel, we have to do this on a nightly basis. That's how we get to the point where we've donated $229,000 as well out of the income. So it supports the channel. It allows us as a group in the bulk form to, you know, give tons and tons of money away. And it shouldn't be the same people over and over and over and over again, like Alley Cake. And so many others, you know. So I'm just saying, that's how it works. And if you have the ability to, that would be great. But it's weird how the ability seems to go up when we're covering a case that's bigger. All right. Okay, how do I do this one? Oh yeah, I want to do this one right here. There you go. There, so I'm on the screen, and then it's right there. And there's CR again. So basically tonight we have CR. What do we got? CR, Free Radical, and Alley Cake, and Richard Watts, and Miss to Lovely. All right, well, we'll keep on following that one, see what's happening, but I think it's just really kind of obvious that that 68-year-old boyfriend, or whatever you want to call him, it has something to do with it, since he seemed to be assaulting her, or trying to, or scare her, whatever hell he was doing in those pictures, and then she probably found out that he was a sex offender, and then because he was doing that to her, she reported him, and then maybe he's going to get in trouble again. Or maybe there's a court date set for them to appear and her to testify, so he wanted to take her out before that. But how stupid, because that would lead right back to him. Right? It's pretty obvious. Thanks, CR. CR's trying for a wave, everybody. And Alley Cake, too. So don't leave them hanging. Nothing worse than somebody's trying for a wave, or nothing worse than saying, hey, if you could support the channel, and nada. It's all the same. Hey, Mike, could you go somewhere else, man? Okay? Somebody, just get rid of Mike. I can tell they're not really a legitimate person. They're just looking to make the stupidest comments they can make. And hey, thanks, Janelle Glover. Yeah. That's not... See, the comment Mike just made isn't one of those ones where you go, it's just his opinion, gee. No, it's a stupid jackass comment, okay? All right. Hey, and thanks, Miss Too Lovely again. Yeah. All right, so hey, check it out. Let's take a look at the... Frank Meister sent me and LA too, I guess, sent me this, but I got this from Frank Meister. The Carroll County Comet. There we go. Let's see what McLeland says. All right. Maybe I should change the title. I don't know how to do that. Let's see. Can I do it here? Let's see. I'll change it to Nicholas McLeland. I actually left him a message to see if I could interview with him. Alright, there you go. I'll just change the title there. Mine went in before the wave. Thanks, Karen. Oh, before the wave? Oh. No, doesn't count as part of the wave, since you did it before they said it. I don't know. Oh, thanks, French fry on the coffee. All right, man. Let's see, how long is this? Ooh, yeah, this will be, this might take the whole show here. We can stop and comment and go over the whole damn thing. Who the hell knows? You guys ready or what? This could be interesting. Hey, thanks, Michelle. Carroll County Prosecutor Nicholas McLeland spoke to the Carroll... You know what I could do is I could have this read it over here. And then when I pause the reader, what voice should we use for it, though? Let's see. I'll do it. Shit. Carroll County Prosecutor Nicholas McLeland spoke to the Carroll County Comet Friday, his first interview since the gag order was lifted in the Delphi double murder case. This is part of a continued series of first-hand perspectives from those closest to the case by journalist Amy Graham McCarty. Snoop Dogg, yeah. Let's see. Let me see how that goes. I'll read this paragraph with it. I'm already signed up for it. God. Not sure if I have how to log in here. Okay, yep, that worked.
Seven letters prolonged the investigation into the person responsible for killing Abigail Williams and Liberty German. Written in red on a tip sheet with information on tip 74 was the word cleared. That one word allowed Richard Allen's self-reported tip to be filed away until 2022. A year earlier, in 2021, Carroll County Prosecutor Nicholas McLeland says, investigators circled back to review the nearly 20,000 tips received in the case. Allen of Delphi was convicted and sentenced for the murders of Abby and Libby. He confessed more than
60 times to killing the girls.
All right, let's do. We're gonna do the Snoop Dogg. Okay, I'm gonna go all the way to like right here. All the way to the next bold area. Okay, here's Snoop Dogg. I'm gonna also read these other things up here, like Diener and Liggett. All right.
7 letters prolonged the investigation into the person responsible for killing Abigail Williams and Liberty German. Written in red on a tip sheet with information on tip number 74 was the word clear. That one word allowed Richard Allen's self-reported tip to be filed away until 2022. A year earlier, in 2021, Carroll County Prosecutor Nicholas McLeland says investigators circled back to review the nearly 20,000 tips received in the case.
You know, I always forget about that part about it being cleared. You know? I mean, so maybe, you know, that's something that Doolin could sort of feel better about. Because somebody else put cleared on there. He didn't he thought, oh, they must have cleared it, so... You know what I mean? You'd think his intellectual curiosity, though, at one point would have said, wow, hey, whatever happened to that one guy?
Allen of Delphi was convicted and sentenced for the murders of Abby and Libby. He confessed more than 60 times to killing the girls. For 2 years, McLeland and later his team of deputy prosecutors Stacy Diener and James Luttrell Jr. has remained tight-lipped about the case, considering a gag order placed in December 2022 by Special Judge Frank Go. With the gag order lifted December 20, 2024, he is allowed to speak. After nearly a year of reviewing tips, Kathy Shank, a retired Division of Family and Children worker and investigative team volunteer, visited tip number 74. Allen's self-reported tip placed
You know what's weird is, did she work over at the abandoned CPS building? Because she worked as a retired Division of Family and Children worker.
him on the Monterey High Bridge on February 13, 2017, the day the girls went missing. This tip had information from Allen that he saw 3 girls on the trail between 1:30 and 3:30 p.m. Allen told Indiana Conservation Officer Dan Doolin he was wearing clothing similar to a man recorded by Libby following the girls across the bridge and instructing them to go down.
That's not true. See, right, that part right there? Dan Doolin never asked. The whole part about what Richard Allen was wearing wasn't in Dan Doolin's narrative. So it's interesting that they put that in here. That was never mentioned.
On the hill, that man was dubbed Bridge Guy. It wasn't misfiled. It wasn't lost because Allen's name was entered as Richard Allen Whiteman in the tip database. The reason we didn't find it was because on the tip someone wrote cleared. So, we put it in the file that it was cleared, McLeland said. The file was marked accordingly. In 2021, we had a meeting with all law enforcement and said let's go back and review every tip and see if we missed something. Kathy had the wherewithal to read the tip and say, hey, this guy was on the trail that day. I've never read a tip with the name Richard Allen. This is important. Shank took the tip to now Sheriff Tony Liggett. It clicked that this is the guy that everybody saw, and here we are, McLeland said. If there's a hero in that part of this story, it is Kathy Shank and Tony Liggett. McLeland said learning of the tip left him with a mix of emotions. It was a roller coaster, he said. No one knows who cleared Allen's tip in 2017. We don't know to this day who wrote clear. There have been thousands of tips and tons of people working on it. The tip that was entered had cleared written and read on it, he said. It doesn't matter what his name was filed under. The point is someone wrote cleared on the tip. I've heard a lot of podcasts where they blame Dan Doolin. Dan Doolin is a good officer. He is thorough. He is a good officer. I don't think we should focus on blame. We should focus on Kathy having the wherewithal to bring it to law enforcement. Shank, he said, spent 8 to 15 hours a day volunteering her time because she loves the Delphi community and she wanted to help. The only thing she is missing is an S on her chest for Superman because she is a hero, he said. Roller coaster ride. Once law enforcement determined Allen was a viable citizen.
Maybe I'll go back and forth with Snoop. Hey, thanks, Vicky White. Once law enforcement determined Allen was a viable suspect, McLeland said he did not get excited. I've been working on this case for 7 years in February, starting a year after Abby and Libby died, he said. It was 6 years of highs and lows. Hey, we got this person. This is just what didn't... Jerry Holeman said exactly the same thing in my interview. Hey, we got this person, and hey, we got this tip. You would ride the roller coaster up the hill, and it would be a huge letdown. When investigators told him Allen was a suspect, McLeland said to himself, I'm not going to ride this roller coaster again. Let's see how it develops. And that's exactly what Holeman said. He said he was on his tractor, and they told him, and he's like, yeah, okay. Because they've heard so many different tips that have come in, and they turned out to be nothing. I was a defense attorney for 9 years before I was a prosecutor, so my initial reaction to everything is, all right, prove it, he said. I put that on investigators and law enforcement. I do that every time I get a case. I say, all right, prove it. The lost phone. When law enforcement gathered evidence from Allen's home on October 22nd, 2022, during the execution of a search warrant, something was missing. McLeland said investigators could not find the phone Allen was using in 2017. You know what's interesting about that? Is it's similar to Keegan Kline. How when they went to his house, the only phone that was missing from the treasure trove of phones was the one he was using during the time Abby and Libby were killed. And then he did all kinds of maneuvers to delete and uninstall apps. Then he gave it to police. Isn't that strange how that's kind of similar? I mean, I guess they're both criminals and both used their phones. Had we gathered his phone 5 years before he was arrested, we might have gathered more information, he said. Well, you don't even know if he had the phone after that night, though. Perhaps it was the Samsung phone. Yeah, it wasn't, but let's just... had he gathered his phone 5 years before he was arrested, we might have gathered more information, he said. He had a collection of phones dating back to 1998, but he didn't have that phone. He said he didn't know if he had the phone or not. He said his wife may have recycled it. But that was a big piece of evidence that we missed an opportunity to collect. Had we followed up in 2017, we would have a plethora of information on where he was, what he was doing, all those things. God, doesn't that just suck? Jesus. The missing phone was important. McLeland believes Allen kept in his possession phones dating back to 1998, leading up to the phone he was using in 2017. He also had phones in his possession that were used immediately following the phone he was using in 2017 and beyond. Well, when was that? So I want to know what date that was. I don't know if it was big to the jury, but it was big to me, he said. I mapped out the release dates of those phones with Christopher Cecil, looking at when... Yeah, so nobody ever talked about in those recaps. Looking at when the phones were released. We know he had a phone for at least this long, so the next phone would be the next release date. There were obvious gaps around the time, around the murder, where he had the phone after and before, but not at the time of the murder. It could have been a coincidence, but that was odd. So it said there were obvious gaps around the time when he had the phone after and before. When you say the phone, but not at the time of the murder. For McLeland, looking back over the trial, he admits there are a few things he would do differently. Obviously, the tip being overlooked for 5 years is huge and unfortunate, he said. It's not huge for trying the case, but it is a huge thing for the family. We had to go an additional 5 years. That's a big deal, and we can't blame anyone because we don't know who wrote cleared on the tip sheet. Yeah, isn't that the person that everybody should be more angry at? The only thing is I would have someone testify about the pattern of life of Richard Allen while he was in jail. The only other thing is I would have someone testify about the pattern of life of Richard Allen while he was in jail, what he did day to day to have more impact for the confessions. Having an account of Allen's behavior and actions leading up to and following his 60-plus confessions would have helped show the jury Allen did not make those due to being psychotic, he said. I don't know how much weight jurors put into confessions, he said. Well, it almost sounds like they didn't really use them at all, except for the one with the van. Obviously, they carried a lot of weight to us because I'm sure why someone, to us because I'm not sure why someone would confess to something they didn't do. Right, and that's actually a quote by Richard Allen, who said he'd never confess to something he didn't do. I think it would have more impact if we showed his day-to-day activities and showed that when he made confessions, he was at normal behavior. I think we could have done a better job of that. All right, you guys, we're crashing and burning again, so I'm going to need your guys' support on the channel tonight. We're not even at a third of the goal, so if you guys have the ability to help support the channel tonight, that would be great. I know I'm reading, so it's a punishment to you guys. Thanks, Michelle H. Having an account of Alan's behavior. Okay. Some of Alan's confessions in the form of phone calls to his wife, Kathy, and mother, Janice Allen, were played for the jury during the trial. We played phone calls showing how he is talking about the weather, asking how mom is, how his dad is doing, how are you, how's the cat. This is just what Becky just told us. How's the dog? And then he says, Kathy, yeah, isn't that wild? That's exactly what Becky just said. He said that he just was having this regular conversation, and then he says, Kathy, I just need you to know that I did this, he said. There are 700 to 800 phone calls. We couldn't play them all. That would be too much for the jury. The phone calls before and after, we should have played those to show this is normal. This is not under duress, and these confessions are legitimate, at least in my mind. When asked about why he believed in the same, why he believed in the same call, Alan would confess his guilt and then ask, what if I did it? And says to his wife, I think I did it. McLeland said he believed it was because Alan did not get the reaction he had hoped for. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Yeah, see, he hoped that she'd say, I'd still love you anyways. And now he's thinking, oh, she wouldn't love me if I did it. So then he goes, I think I did it. So then it's like it's questionable. You get it? And I think on Hidden True Crime, the husband, he said something very similar to that a while back during the trial. He said almost that exact same thing, I think. When asked about why he believed, so then if I confess to killing and I've talked to my number one, which for him was Kathy, and you don't get the reaction you expect, think about it, he said. He cares what she thinks. I'm using common sense and life experience, but I think we've all been in a situation where we don't get the reaction that we wanted, and we fill the awkward silence. That's exactly right. I was just thinking, like, when you first meet somebody, you might do something like that. Like you go, hey, I had a really good time, and then they might have started to say something like, yeah, I don't know, it was okay. And you go, yeah, I mean, it was okay. It wasn't really, you sort of reduce down what you were saying a little bit. Yes, let's try to keep the wave going, Michelle H. said. But I think we've all been in that situation. I'm not a conspiracy theory guy. Maybe that's why my theories and everything have matched McLeland's and theirs so well, is because we think similarly, I don't buy into that. I buy into the most obvious answer is the right one. I know the facts of evidence we have and use my life experience to evaluate a situation. When I see something, I call a spade a spade. I look for most straightforward answer. The question many have asked over the last nearly 8 years since Abby and Libby went for a hike on the Monon High Bridge trails is why and how. How is the question I have been asked the most, McLeland said. I asked them, have you ever had a gun pointed at you? And how would you react if you did? That's a unique experience that not many people have or will ever experience. Most people are kind of gentle people. When people points a gun at you, I think it's meant to say when a person points a gun at you and says, do this, I have never had that happen to me. But I have an idea of how a 13 or 14-year-old girl would react. And remember, that's one of the questions I asked Holeman. And it's one of the things I keep telling these clowns out there, these lunatic people that think Richard Allen are... And listen, if you think Richard Allen is innocent, you are a lunatic. There is something wrong with your brain, okay? So you might want to go get that fixed. Now, you think you're thinking through things logically, but you aren't. Okay? That is the truth. You are not thinking through things. All right? And I know that you don't want to hear something like that, but really just try to examine your own brain because it's not working. It's wild. I would sit back and say, individuals took to social media and YouTube to discuss the merits of the case. Some speaking on authority on Alan's innocence and guilt. Right. These stupid attorneys that are out there. And they are dumb. You know, and the thing is, okay, maybe they're not dumb in the sense of like, oh, they're idiots, you know, like literally their IQs are low. But what they are doing is tricking their viewing audience and trying to get the audience to look for like these little tiny outs that might help get a client off that actually committed a murder. Who the hell wants to watch that shit? I think it's weird that people want to go watch that. Like, yeah, hey, let's go watch this. Woo, let's get the killers off. You know, why don't you start a Brian Koberger fan club or something? I mean, it's ridiculous. Most people are kind of gentle. Or most people are kind, gentle people. When someone points a gun at you and says, do this. Right, that's what I'm saying. The people out there who think that, oh, it's so hard for one guy to do this. Oh my God, it's just incredibly difficult. Well, a gun makes it easy. You just point the gun at somebody, tell them to do something. The gun made it simple to do everything in the case. It's not complicated, hard, difficult, or anything. And they know it. Okay? Bob Mata, I can't be that stupid. And Rick Snay, he could be that stupid. But I'm just saying, if you're literally looking at a case and you have two girls that are, one's 13, one's 14, and a gun is pointed at them, they are going to do what you tell them to do, and you merely tell them to undress and dress themselves. So all of that stuff is taken care of by the gun. After he killed one of them, Libby, he probably had to pull her, not carry, but drag her, I don't know if it was 20 feet or something. That's it, man. That's it. So when you keep trying to sell to people, oh, how does one person do all this? You're being intellectually dishonest, willfully ignorant. You are intentionally tricking your viewers. Okay? That's it. What isn't, Christy? I don't know what you're saying. You have to type a sentence in. I wasn't speaking to you, so I don't know what you're referring to. No, it honestly isn't. Isn't what? I don't know what you're saying. Man, we're having a really struggle tonight, keeping any kind of rallies going. We're still at it. We're only at a third, less than a third of a nightly goal, you guys. A quarter of last night. Drinking some iced tea. Right, yeah, it's simple. Especially at gunpoint. Alright, and it says, individuals took to social media and YouTube to discuss the merits of the case. Some people on authority on Alan's innocence and guilt. Those are the Burkhart, Laura Lee, Mata, just complete, just scamming their viewers into believing something that's completely bogus. Unbelievable. I would sit back and say, if you only knew the whole story, McLeland said, of comments made online about the case. No, it wouldn't matter, Nick. It would not matter, man. It wouldn't matter if they knew the whole story. They wouldn't care. I'm very much the person that I'm not going to go on TV before a game and say, I'm going to win this. Rate me as the underdog and play the game. Though social media didn't bother the prosecutor, he said he hoped people would take into consideration what their comments do to the families. They don't care about that. Even under Becky's video, you know what's weird? Did you guys watch the Becky interview? And then you look in the comments, and these idiots type in stuff like, look at that, look at her lying face. Her face looks like the same when I look at Becky, she seems like the nicest, sweetest person, because she is. I've actually met her in person. She's just really nice and just such a nice person. And when you read these comments, you look at them and go, what kind of world are you? What do you live in? You are a disgusting person making a comment like that. What are you looking at? Yeah. I would always think, do you realize what effect this has on the family? They don't. They don't care. That is the big issue for me, because I know the family, he said. Exactly. Exactly right. I know them. He knows them too. You know, he knows them better than I do, I'm sure. But I know them, and I know what these people are saying is hurtful and not true and disgusting. Carroll County is known for being a tight-knit community where neighbors help neighbors. It is also not unusual for familial connections as generations continue to reside in the area. McLeland said he never let those connections cloud his judgment. All right, we're 8 of 20 on the goal in the upper left to get the extra hour. We're mightily struggling tonight, guys. Where are you? Where are you? Let's see. McLeland said he never let those connections cloud his judgment. If that weighed into my decision making, then I would not be able to be the prosecutor, he said. It is not just this case, it's every case. I know the mom, the dad. I graduated with the sister, or brother. It is such a small community. I know 70% of the people. I've prosecuted in one way or another, so he knows almost everybody. It had no effect besides it being more heartbreaking because I knew the girls before they died. I know their family. Their family knew my family. It's just a small community. I was born and raised here, and I feel very loyal to Carroll County. McLeland said, like many in the community, his interactions with Alan and his wife Kathy were minimal before he became a suspect in the murders. Nothing besides going to CVS and Richard checking me out at the register. Isn't that crazy? He said of their interaction. Back when he was there, they did not have a self-checkout. Richard and Kathy Allen were pretty low-key members of the community. They weren't doing anything to bring attention to themselves. Investigator Steve Mullen joined McLeland and the prosecutor's office and assisted with the case. He is more than an employee. He is also a friend, McLeland said. He is hurt by the defense accusations that Mullen is corrupt. Steve Mullen is a devout Christian. When the defense said he lied, that affected him in a personal way, he said. To call him a liar, if you know him, is just inappropriate. To say he lied, cheated, would steal, or is corrupt is inappropriate. He is one of the most honest guys I know. There is no other guy more devout than he is. And to call him corrupt, that cuts him to the core because he's not that person. Yeah, and that's just, that's what these guys do, the defense team. They just say whatever it takes, however they can get this guy out. Hey, Google. If there was any evidence McLeland says he was surprised by during the 17-day trial, it was when the defense digital expert Stacey Eldridge, a former FBI forensic examiner and certified mobile device examiner, testified, this is what Becky was talking about, that something was inserted into Libby's cell phone headphone jack at approximately 5:45 p.m. on February 13, 2017, and then removed at 10:32 p.m. the same evening. Did the state, how come they didn't know that themselves, though? I don't. Did the state expect that testimony? No, McLeland said. The defense did a good job of hiding what they were going to use in court. When I heard it, I thought, that doesn't make sense. We saw it in the log. Okay, but again, it didn't make sense. It just didn't make sense. So they saw it, I guess. We gave those logs to the defense, so we knew it was there. I did not know their expert was going to give that explanation, so that caught me by surprise. The state digital expert, ISP First Sergeant Christopher Cecil, examined Libby's phone and extracted data from it on multiple occasions. Are you guys even here? I mean, I can just go read this myself. This is like just blabbing away to nothingness. There hasn't been a comment in 10 minutes. It's just it's crazy. The state digital expert, ISP First Sergeant Christopher Cecil, examined Libby's phone and extracted data from it multiple occasions. Christopher Cecil, what an amazing ISP officer. The intelligence in that guy and the knowledge of digital forensic. He knows his stuff, McLeland said. We spent hours and hours and hours together. I believe the defense thought that this was the reasonable doubt they needed. Whether the jury agreed or not, they didn't buy into it. McLeland said, with everything the state knew, common sense told them it was not possible someone physically plugged in a set of headphones in the port of Libby's phone and removed it at the time the defense indicated. As Aldridge remained on the stand, Cecil got to work trying to figure out a logical explanation as to what could have happened. He searched Google and was directed to an Apple tech help site. Libby's phone was an Apple iPhone 6S. It's not the ideal situation, McLeland said of the Google search. I think Jennifer Auger did a good job of saying this is not ideal police work. You don't just do a Google search, but when you're put in that situation and the defense does trial by surprise, that's what you get. Let's see, we've got 38 minutes to reach that goal at the top. All right, and then that's going to be it. That's what the goal was. It gets an extra hour. All right, so we are at 8 of 12, or 8 of 20. If we get to 20 of 20, we'll do the extra hour. But we only got 38 more minutes on this. Let's see. As reliable as Google searches go, I think it was reliable. Noting the oddity of the search and its timing, McLeland said he still stands by the information. As reliable as Google searches go, I think it was reliable. And again, what he found was common sense. Jennifer Auger and all Auger, but the phone didn't move either. Did a good job in saying you don't use Google for a trial. You're right, we don't. But when you spring this on us and don't tell us ahead of time, this is what you get. To me, it's just a common sense explanation. The defense objected to Cecil citing his finding from Google in court, calling it hearsay. Google overruled the objection. Google overruled her objection. I don't think it's a hearsay because it's him commenting on the search that he has found, McLeland said. I don't think it's hearsay because it's him commenting on the search that he has found. McLeland said, some of Cecil's testimony is based on research that he had, like the distance of a flight of stairs. He did search. It is no different than that. Auger, McLeland noted, I mean, I did it myself and used like AI and it was right there. I don't think it's hearsay because it's him commenting on the research that he has found, McLeland said. Some of Cecil's testimony is based on research that he had, like the distance of a flight of stairs. He did research, it's no different than that. Auger McLeland noted, asked Cecil about the distance of a flight of stairs as recorded in Apple Health data. Libby's Apple Health data showed she traveled 2 flights of... Yeah, I want to know about this stuff. Jeez, you guys. What's going on tonight? We're just not going to do it? Well, I'm going to have to stick with my thing. You get the extra hour if we reach that goal. It's a real simple one, real low. Okay, now the trolls will go, oh, look at Gray. No, that's what it is. That's what they actually tell you. That's what you put as one of your things. So that's what we're doing in here. We're 8 of 20. And if we reach the 20, then I'll do the extra hour. All right. Auger McLeland noted that asked Cecil about the distance of a flight of stairs as recorded in Apple Health data. Libby's Apple Health data showed she traveled 2 flights of stairs between Alan telling the girls to go down the hill and when they were murdered. The Apple Health data extracted from Libby's phone was very significant. Whether right or wrong, I bought into the Apple Health data and what it said. When you put it into context of all the evidence we had, the Apple Health data coincides with all the data we had, he said. The fact the phone didn't move after 2:32 p.m. was big. As to why Alan would leave critical evidence behind is anyone's guess, McLeland said. What goes through a person's mind when he kills 2 little girls? What goes through his mind after? I have no idea, he said. Common sense says, why leave the phone behind if you knew it was there? I have no idea. Well, I do. I mean, why would you take it with you? It would ping where you're going. I mean, if you didn't think it filmed anything, why would you touch it? That makes sense. It's not in Florida this year, Karen. I don't know. I'm just trying to reach the goal tonight. So I'm not sure what's going on. You guys are, is there a punishment happening or? Let's see. As to why Alan would leave a critical evidence, I mean, why would he take it? And it's not in Florida, Karen. It's like in Colorado or something like that, or I don't know. It's not there. What he believes is that Abby purposely hid the phone from the killer. It was not until crime scene investigators moved Abby's body to process the scene that they found Libby's phone under a shoe under Abby's body. So think about that. So when the person at 5 in the morning reached under there, they somehow could see the phone port jack and reached underneath there in the middle of the dark and plugged it in, not moving the phone at all. Yeah. But for Abby, holy cow, the phone was a huge piece of evidence, he said. She is a hero in her own right. Without Libby's phone, the investigation could have taken much longer, McLeland believes. To me, the video, the location of where it was taken, and the health app data are big pieces of evidence, he said. The video was powerful. If you think about the past 8 years, what is the one thing you've seen in the media these past 8 years? Evidence from that phone. It was huge to me. Yeah, I mean, him leaving the phone there left the information that was critical, but he didn't know anybody was being filmed. Except for the video recorded by Libby on the High Bridge on February 13, 2017, McLeland asked Gold to seal... Ooh, except for the video. Is that going to be released? Is that, look at, except for the video recorded by Libby on the high bridge, McLeland asked Gold to seal court records in the case, his reasoning Richard Allen's best interest. Wow. So they're gonna release that video. That sounds pretty amazing if that's what he's saying right there. When are they going to release that? Oh my God, that's going to be incredible. Well, this is where you want to come here if you want somebody to analyze it the right way and know what they're looking at. All right, you guys, I'm going to try one last time on the show tonight. We got almost 200 people here. My channel relies on your guys' generosity on a nightly basis. We started off okay, but we've absolutely just gotten crushed since then. So if you have the ability, could you please help support the channel so that we can continue to do the show? We're only at 8 of 20, and when we get to 20, then we do an extra hour. If not, I am actually just going to end the show then. It said right here, it said except for the video recorded by Libby on the high bridge, McLeland asked Gould to seal court records in the case. So that means he's saying he's not asking for that video to be sealed. I wanted a fair trial for Richard Allen. I felt like if everything was out to the public, we would taint the jury pool. That is why I was very tight-lipped about talking to anyone, he said. I believe in our system, whether you like it or not. I believe in it. I did it so we could have a fair jury. I did it to protect him. No one is going to believe that, but that is why we did it. Keeping information from the public only lasted so long. The defense would file their first of several Franks memorandum in the case in September of 2023. The court document, 136 pages in length, provided details on the crime scene, including evidence that has never been revealed to the public. A cartridge found between the bodies of the girls that had been discharged from a 6-hour gun, and the defense belief members of a Norse pagan religion murdered the girls as part of a ritualistic killing. I appreciate his perspective, but I don't agree with it, McLeland said of defense attorney Andrew Baldwin, telling media recently that legally they could not file the Franks memorandum confidentially. It just goes back to common sense, McLeland said. We investigated every lead. There is not a lead we did not investigate. We used to say if the lead has legs, we're going to go with it. That means going down the rabbit hole until we prove it or disprove it. Oh, thanks.
I really think Odinism is a testament to investigators. When you first hear about it, it sounds ridiculous, and investigators
Thanks for the coffee.
Said no, we are going to go down the road and investigate. They stayed with it until they disproved it. At the end of the day, I'm glad to charge whoever is responsible for this. But you got to prove it. The defense could not prove it from our evidence, and we couldn't prove it from our evidence. To me, that is the end of the story. One of the investigators who looked into ritualistic killings was former Rushville Police Chief Todd Click, along with now deceased FBI Task Force Officer Greg Ferenczi and former ISB investigator Kevin Murphy. Click, wanting to be sure McLeland and investigators had thoroughly investigated the Odinist angle, sent him a certified letter after Allen's arrest. If you read over it, it piques your interest. He said of the letter, I brought Todd Click in to talk and said, tell us what you know. There is this theme out there from defense-friendly people that I am corrupt and covering up for people. I would not cover for anyone who committed this crime. We called Click up and asked him to explain his thoughts. I said, let's talk about it. Give me your best pitch, if you will. We investigated it like we did everything. If I went to trial based on what I think happened, I would not win. You have to have evidence to support what you think happened, and we did not have evidence to support that theory. Is it a conspiracy theory that they all came together and committed these crimes, and no one is talking? Or is it that Richard Allen was on the bridge that day and decided to kidnap and kill those little girls? What makes more sense? Lost audio. The defense stated during hearings that missing audio of interviews completed by law enforcement of third-party suspects with alleged ties to Norse pagan religion was reckless, if not intentional by the state. That audio is said to have been recorded over unbeknownst to investigators. Those interviews are documented in the reports, McLeland said. I don't fault the defense for making that an issue. It is regrettable that it happened. It was. Whether the defense wants to believe the reports, I understand you want to hear the actual words. To me, it wasn't an issue. I understand why the defense wants to make it an issue. I was a defense attorney for a long time. I would have done the same thing. There was nothing of merit to warrant a further investigation into other individuals. File. Carroll County Prosecutor Nicholas McLeland, along with the FBI and ISP. McLeland says he believed from the day he filed the probable cause and arrest warrant in the case that he had enough to convict Allen for killing Abby and Libby.
Right.
The evidence he considered key was the cartridge. McLeland says he believed from the day he filed the probable cause and arrest warrant in the case that he had enough to convict Allen for killing Abby and Libby.
You guys hear that right there? The day that he filed the probable cause, he knew he had enough. And I told you, after reading it, I said, man, that's one of the strongest probable cause documents I've ever seen. Richard Allen is bridge guy. You know, like, they literally lock him in as bridge guy. Like, we figured that out, like, so fast, and it never changed. And so that probable cause document, it was sort of ignored by a lot of these wackos out there. Like, it wasn't important. It didn't really significantly say anything, and it's pretty crazy.
Evidence he considered key was the cartridge found at the crime scene between the girls' bodies. That cartridge was determined to have come from a SIG Sauer P1226 handgun recovered from Allen's home when police executed a search warrant.
Now, thanks for the coffee in there. I just don't know what's going on tonight's show. Like, what's makes it worse than any other one? Or
in October 2022. For me, the aha moment for the state was when we got the ballistic report and the bullet matched the gun. I believe in that science. I just believe in it, he said. I didn't have my team together at that time, but I believe the evidence we had was enough for an arrest and probable cause and enough for conviction, or I would not have filed. You never know what jurors are going to do. I don't care if you've been practicing for 2 years or 50. If you could read a jury and know what they are going to do, that would be a skill we would all like to have. For McLeland, defense attorney Brad Rossi may not have been reading the jury when giving his closing argument. There's a point where in the defense's closing, they showed a Reck used for medieval torture. He said, sometimes you go too far, and you lose the jury. I could have objected. It was absolutely inappropriate for them to show that. I let it go. Part of trial work is reading the room and seeing how people react. You have to watch the jury and how they are reacting. They are your audience. He was losing them, so I didn't object. I thought, let them go this far. He's going to lose the jury, the van. During the trial, McLeland said Allen confessed to a key piece of evidence that only the killer would know. That information, he said, came in one of Allen's confessions to his Indiana Department of Corrections psychologist, Dr. Monica Waller. Allen told Waller he was spooked while he held the girls below the bridge. Allen said he had intended to sexually assault the girls but saw a van. He then chose to take them across Deer Creek and kill them. He doesn't say white van, McLeland said. He says a van. People associate a white van because they see the photo of Brad Weber's van. Carroll County resident Brad Weber lives at the end of a driveway that travels under the Monon High Bridge. He testified he was driving a white van home and under the bridge around 2:30 p.m. on February 13, 2017. It has been shared on social media that the information regarding Weber's white van was on the internet, making it easy for Waller to feed the information to Allen during one of their sessions. Was it out on social media? I wasn't following social media, so I have no idea, McLeland said. The state's perspective was we didn't think that anyone knew a van had traveled down the road under the bridge at that time. McLeland said information about the van was learned when the state acquired access to Allen's mental health and medical records from the IDOT. The judge denied the state's request for mental health and medical records twice, saying it was privileged information, he said. The defense brought it up in pleadings, and the judge finally granted it. Waller testified in court that she had followed Allen's case before and after he became her patient. The defense used that information to attack her credibility. I don't know if the jury believed she was reliable or not, McLeland said. We thought that was why we put her on the stand. If you go with the defense's theory, she made all this up. What does common sense tell you? You go with it. While it testified in court that she had followed Alan's case before and after he became her patient, the defense used that information to attack her credibility. I don't know if the jury believed she was reliable or not, McLeland said. We thought that was why we put her on the stand. If you go with the defense's theory, she made all this up. What does common sense tell you? You go where the evidence leads you. Plea deal. McLeland said he offered Alan a plea deal early on, but Alan declined. There was a plea deal, he said. It wasn't a lucrative deal for Richard Allen. What are you going to offer a guy who kills 2 girls? Leaked photos. When asked if he felt the defense intentionally leaked photos of the crime scene, McLeland said he would respect Go's ruling. We presented the evidence that we had at the contempt hearing and the judge found it wasn't intentional, and I respect the judge's decision, he said. When he initially saw photos from the crime scene, he says he became emotional. I got choked up. What if it was your kids? That is what I want to say to those who have shared and posted the crime scene photos. Put yourself in the position of the family and imagine seeing your daughter in that state. Just imagine it, he said. I visualize my own 2 girls. And I mean, talk about victimizing the victims. I think Becky Patty said it best. It's generational. Every time someone Googles it, think of Becky Patty, Derek German, Anna Williams, Carrie Timmons, for them to have to see that in the public, to see it projected. McLeland said the Patty family was delivering food to those standing in line trying to get a seat in the courtroom during the trial. For them to have that strength to endure the trial and then people to go that day and badmouth them. They are what we should try to be like, he said. The defense wants to talk about being human. Those are humans. I don't know that I could do that. I think I would be bitter and mean. But again, members of our community, this community, holy cow, they are something else. 4 counts. Due to double jeopardy, Allen could not be sentenced for the 4 counts of murder he was convicted. 2 counts of felony murder and 2 counts of intentional murder. I added intentional murder in January 2023, McLeland said. The felony murder I originally charged him with because I believe he kidnapped the girls, and they died. I had the other 2 counts added because I was at a point where that was appropriate to add because I felt he intentionally killed the girls. You never know what a jury is going to do. You present the evidence you have. I thought we had a strong case. I thought we had the right person that committed the offense. He was presumed innocent until the jury came back. To Richard Allen, McLeland said he has nothing to say to Allen. I don't want to sit down with him, he said. I presented the evidence we had in court. The jury found him guilty. If you believe in the system, as I do, what else do I need to hear? What answer could he give to give solace? No answer he could give me would justify or make it okay. I was pretty adamant at the press conference. I don't want to say Richard Allen's name again. He's the defendant, the convicted. This should be about Abby and Libby and how amazing they were. 5. Becky Patty. Sendrin, the grandmother of Liberty German, speaks to reporters following. McLeland said he admires the family's faith and perseverance over the last 7.5 years. I applaud their strength and their compassion, he said. We should strive to be like them. We really should. What they went through, and not to be bitter. They are compassionate in the face of evil. Imagine what the family was feeling. I champion them for being there every day supporting us and obviously being as cordial and respectful as they were. I'm not sure how I would feel if it were my kid. It takes a village. For years, McLeland worked side by side with investigators, attorneys, and the families fighting for justice for Abby and Libby. I just want everyone to know I did not do this alone, he said. It takes a village. This took a village. Jerry Holeman, my staff, Stacy Diener, Jim Luttrell, and Tony Liggett. I could not have done this without their help and support. They deserve and have earned as much praise and gratitude as I'm getting. I could not have done this without them. All the investigators too. And Kathy Shane. Talk about an unsung hero. Say I love you. In his years of working as a defense attorney, McLeland says he has represented some of the worst defendants you can imagine. It never affected me. And then I had kids, he said. You watch them take their first steps, say their first words. There is something about them that I can't explain in words. It made me more emotional. Being a dad of girls makes you kind of a wimp. The biggest effect Abby and Libby's case had on me is every time I see my kids and loved ones, I think I better tell them I love them. When you look at your loved ones, never miss an opportunity to tell them I love you. Holeman, we were never going to give up. The following is an in-depth interview with ISP Lieutenant Jerry Holeman. Holeman.
Oh, maybe we could do that one. When was that one? Oh, it's subscription. Alright, well, that's it. I think I used up all of my notifications today, and I don't know what it is, for something about me tonight isn't inspiring people to support the channel. So, you know, I tried my best today to do those other videos, but those aren't going to do it either. Just, you know, I try my best on here. But anyways, thanks everybody for being here. I'm going to take off. Thank you to... Just going to be spinning my wheels. Thanks to Timothy Cecil. Thanks for sending me that, Frank. Timothy Cecil, CR. We had Free Radical, Timothy Cecil, 53 months, Alley Cake, Richard Watts, Miss 2, Lovely, CR. Who knows? Alley Cake, CR. Karen, Janelle Glover, M2 Lovely. And thanks for the people that were supporting the channel and, you know, did multiple ones, but we didn't even make a third of the goal, if you can believe that. How sad is that? Vicky White, Michelle H, and Allie Cake, and Michelle Donica. And then we had Allie Cake, Someone, Lisa Valenzuela, French Fry, and Lily on the coffees. All right, well, thanks everybody. I guess we'll see you tomorrow. Hope to God it, because we just got ahead. Finally, we started making some progress, and then today we just wiped out the entire progress that we had. How shitty is that? Anyways, I'm gonna get going. Thanks everybody. See you later, and be safe out there. Jesus. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, thug rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Greg is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all, just remember I've a temper fucking check-ya. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Talk to you later.